right, Reed Sheppard has been on a tear since the end of the All-Star break. He has been putting up 17 points per game, making 45% of his shots, draining 44% of his looks from downtown, and dishing out 4.4 assists per night. And he is off of an amazing game last night against the Wizards, where he was in the starting lineup, and he put up 19 points with 7 rebounds, 10 assists, 6 steals, and 2 blocked shots. And that makes him one of just 4 second-year players in NBA history to record a stat line just like that. One thing that you absolutely love to see from a second-year player is them getting out there on the court and performing at a high level when their number is called. Despite whatever their role is, you want to be able to rely on them whenever they're called to be out there to play. And that is exactly what we're getting here with Reed Sheppard. In his 9 games he has had as a starter, the Rockets are 7-2, and when he is playing 30 or more minutes this year, he's putting up 19.5 points, 4.6 assists, and is draining 42% of his 3-point shots. So again, you really love seeing a guy be able to go out there on the court and perform whenever his number is called, regardless of what his role is. Sheppard's NBA career has been a roller coaster so far here, right? If you look at him last year, he was barely playing, clocking just 12 minutes per game and putting up 4 points. But after a big time offseason injury to Fred VanVleet, he was thrusted into a much larger role, again, either starting or coming off the bench, and he has been able to adjust and go out there and do a lot for this team on the offensive end, and he has been showing some solid flashes as well with his defense throughout these last couple of games. As of late, he has had some really good moments in clutch scenarios, and he has been flat out elite the entire year as a 3-point shooter. I said it earlier, he is knocking down over 40% of his 3-point shots post All-Star break, and on the entire season, he is 39.6% from downtown. He is very efficient in multiple zones on the perimeter. He is making half of his shots in the left corner, over half of his looks in the right corner, and 43% of his looks in that above the break zone. All of that is well above league average. One thing you also love about him is that at 6'2", there are a lot of ways in which you can use him on the offensive end. He can have the ball in his hands as an orchestrator and get to a pull-up jumper, or get all the way downhill to the rim, where he has been amazing in the paint this season, making 60% of his shots in that area, which is also above league average. Or you can have him operate as an off-ball player, where, as I said earlier, he has been a serious threat as a knockdown 3-point shooter, coming off the catch either off of screens or just being stationary. Look, one of the most important things this season for Houston is getting consistent secondary shot creation and playmaking outside of Kevin Durant and Alperen Sengun. I love Alperen Sengun as a go-to offensive option. I think he is a really good player, but he does have flaws. He can take a bit of a while to get into his shot, so that is why Sheppard is very important. He can be a really quick trigger and a go-to scorer for this team, again, next to their top 2 best players. I have not been a massive fan of the Rockets so far this season. I'm going to be very honest. I am not 100% sure about what their playoff upside is, not because they don't have talent, but I think their current offensive system is pretty questionable. It's not generating the absolute best looks, and they have struggled significantly in the clutch. But if they do want to make a deep playoff run, the biggest X factor for this group is gonna be Reed Sheppard. That does seem like a lot to put on a young player who is just in his 2nd season, but it is very true. He is instant offense for a group that needs instant offense around their best players. As I said, this team has struggled in the clutch, but with Reed Sheppard in the game, it is a massive difference. So let's look at these 2 numbers. Right now, the Rockets on the entire season are scoring just 110 points per 100 possessions in the clutch, but when Sheppard is in the game in the clutch, that changes to 122 points per 100 possessions. Again, that is the instant offense that Sheppard is able to provide this early on in his NBA career. He has shown time and time again this season that he can get it done when his number is called and when Udoka trusts him in a big role. I'll leave with one question for Rockets fans. What does all of this mean after the postseason and after the season is over with? We know Sheppard has been playing well. He has been awesome in his 2nd year, but what if things look like when Fred VanVleet comes back on the roster? Does he still start? Do they start together? What are the question marks in both of those situations? Whatever, I want to know what this means right now for the Rockets' future, for them to be getting this level of production from a really young player. All in all, I love what Sheppard is doing, and what he is putting out there this season should come of no surprise. He has always been able to adapt and blend into any situation. Look at him back in Kentucky. He started coming off the bench and worked his way into the starting lineup for this team and was able to blend throughout the regular season with Rob Dillingham. Now, Kentucky was not great that year. They lost pretty early in the tournament, but the point is, Reed Sheppard is no stranger to being versatile and role elastic and being able to blend into whatever Ime Udoka is asking him to do.